All right, guys, let's try this one together. So this one says TJ cut 4 shelves of equal length using a total of 2.5 yards of wood. How long was each shelf? So we know that when we divide anything, whether it's whole numbers, fractions, decimals, we always do it whole divide whole divided by part is going to equal the part. So that's kind of what we have to go by when we are determining what's our whole, what's our part, and what our order is going to be for our division sentence before we even start doing any math. So in this case, let's reread it again and determine what's our whole and what's our part here. So it says TJ cut 4 shelves of equal length using a total of 2.5 yards of wood. So the fact that this said total automatically tells us that this is our whole, which means it's going to go first in our division equation or sentence. So since we do whole divided by part, we are going to do 2.5 divided by the 4. That is going to be our part in this division sentence. So now that we have determined our division sentence, we can go ahead and start using our strategies. So I realize that the 2.5 is a mixed number, so I'm going to quickly turn that into a improper fraction. 2 times 2 gives me 4, plus 1 is 5. So this gives me 5/2. So 5/2 divided by 4. This is a whole number. 4 is obviously a whole number. We need to make it into a fraction in order to solve, and we know how to do that. We know how to just put 1 as our denominator because that still is equal to 4. That hasn't changed the value of 4 at all. So now I can start using my division strategies. I'm going to start with keep, change, reciprocal. So that means I am going to keep 5/2 the same. My division sign is going to change into a multiplication sign, and I'm going to find the reciprocal of 4/1, which is 1/4. Now I can just multiply straight across. 5 times 1 is 5, and 2 times 4 is 8. So I got 5/8 as my answer. My last step is always going to be either converting to a mixed number or simplifying. So in this case, it's not an improper fraction, so I don't have to convert anything, but I do need to list out my factors to see if I can simplify this any further. So I'm going to list out my factors of 5 and 8. So I have to ask myself what numbers multiply to get us to 5 and what numbers multiply to get us to 8. So I know 1 times 5 gives us 5. Nothing times 2 because 5 is an odd number. Nothing times 3 because 3 is 6, so that's already past 5. Nothing times 4 because 4, 8, 12, we're already past 5, and 5 times 1, so that means we're done with 5. Now I have to do the same thing for 8. 1 times 8, and 2 times 4. So now I need to determine what they have in common. I see that they have a 1 in common. Oh, there we go. And then there's nothing else in common. So the fact that the only thing I have in common is a 1 tells me I can't simplify this any further. If I divide by 1, I'm going to get 5/8 all over again. So here's my final answer of 5/8. Now that we're working with a word problem, I need to write my final answer in a complete sentence. So it said, how long was each shelf? I can write each shelf is 5/8. You can write it like that. That's totally fine. Yards, which I get straight from the problem, long. And then that would be my final response.